What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Welcome back to Endure, Believe, Rise. I hope this message reaches you in good energy. I hope you and your loved ones are in good health. So today we're doing a moment that gets me hyped. If you're on your way to the gym, if you're about to get ready for work, maybe you got a long shift, you need to get your energy levels up, you're about to do a motivational speech, if you're about to do anything where you need to rise your chakra levels, this message is for you. So today's moment that gets me hyped comes from the WWE. Not really need a spoiler alert on this, but basically it's Mark Henry, and Mark Henry makes JR apologize. That's the moment that gets me hyped. So to build it up a little bit, Mark Henry is a professional wrestler with the WWE, and he had a long stint with the WWE. He was known as Sexual Chocolate. He was known with the Nation of Domination. He was the World's Strongest Man. He had a couple of gimmicks and a couple of characters that he went through. Depending on when you first joined professional wrestling, is when you're going to notice him. If you're joining now, then he's retired. He's a Hall of Famer. But this moment comes from when he was this World's Strongest Man, because of that, right? Because he had so many gimmicks and he was trying to figure out where he was with the company. Creative was trying to figure out where he should be in the storylines. He went through a lot of different characters. There was a time where there was a creator there. He's an announcer, but he was also part of the storyline. He was part of creative, and his name is Jr. Now, Jr. is a Hall of Famer in himself, and lots of respect and admiration goes to him, of course, as it should. But there was a time where Jr. told Vince, who was Mark Henry's boss, you should get rid of him, pay him what you owe him, cut him, and get rid of him. He's not going to be a big name. He's never going to be a big draw. He's never going to be somebody who's worth investing in. He told him this. He told Vince this while Mark Henry was sitting in the room. He told him this as if he was a nobody. He told them he talked about him in third person as if there was nothing that he could do about it. That's why this is the moment that gets me hyped. And it's not about revenge. I don't want you to think it's about that. It's not about necessarily proving your haters wrong, but what it is about is proving yourself right, right? Like at the end of the day, there's going to be so many people who just do not agree with you, who do not think that you're a valuable commodity to the team. And they could actually have the greatest intentions in store. I truly don't think that JR had anything personal against Mark Henry, but I think what he had seen from Mark and what he had seen from the business and where the business was and where the promotion was, he didn't see Mark as someone who was worth investing in. The part that, I had a problem with is the fact that you're saying it so disrespectfully as if I'm not even in the room. You could talk to me, right? You don't have to talk around me or talk at me. You can talk to me. I am a human being. But I really don't think in the long run that he had the worst intentions in mind. He really was trying to protect, save, cultivate that group, that environment, this organization that he's part of. And with that, he felt like he was doing the right thing. And what ended up happening was Mark Henry didn't go nowhere. He not only did not survive, he not only did he survive, he thrived. He and it came to fruition one time where Vince saw this explosive side of Mark Henry, this side of not necessarily anger but rage, where he could like you really just embodied the world's strongest man right there. And he told Mark, that's what I want from you. I want that from you. And Mark was hesitant to give it to him, but he gave it to him and he took off, right? And sometimes there's things in us that we're scared to let out. Sometimes there's things in us that we're scared to put attention to call out, to have talent. There's things that we are talented about. And it's a quote that reminds me. It goes, it's something along the lines is, it's not our darkness that scares us, but our light. But when we shine, we give other people the ability to shine as well. So at the end of the day, that's where, Vince came in and he was like, hey, hey, this is what I need from you. And we need those mentors. We need those people to be like, do you realize how powerful you are? Do you realize the talent that you have in yourself? Do you realize everything that you become? So that's not the moment that gets me hyped. It probably should be, it can be, but the moment that gets me hyped is Mark Henry goes on to win the world title. He's the world champion. And JR is interviewing him in the ring. And he brings up the moment. He says, I wanted to make sure that you were the one who gave me my first interview as world champion. I demanded it. And do you know why? And he says, why is that, Mark? He says, because there was a time, and I want you to think about when you were sitting back there and you told Vince in the office when I was there that he should fire me, that he should let me go, or that he should pay me what he owed me and cut his losses. You remember that? And JR says yes, and he grabs him by the tie and he pulls him closer and he says, look at me now. He says, who am I? And he's like, you're the world champion. He says, you darn right I am. And that's the moment that got me hyped, because not necessarily because he got revenge, not necessarily because he got to shove it in his face of his oppressors, but to remind us, right, that it doesn't matter what other people think that we can't do. We need to focus on the things that people say that we can do. We need to focus on the positive. We need to cultivate that mindset. Once you have the right supporters, the right process, the right resources, the right training, and the right dedication, nothing is possible, right? So I want you to think about that today as you go out there and crush that workout, or you go out there and you crush this day at the work, or you go out there and whatever activity you need. Without further ado, that was the moment that got me hyped. All right, guys, I need you to take care of yourselves. Please, be kind to one another. Keep me in your prayers. I'll forever keep you in mind. Endure, believe, rise.